Time to make a pause menu in Unity. Recently we made a simple main menu system, and now we're going to improve it with a pause menu. A pause menu has as much importance as a main menu, as when a player loads into your game scene, they'll need to pause as well as have quick access to options and the ability to return to the main menu. This is the main menu I showed you how to make in my previous tutorial. It loads into your game scene, but currently there isn't a way to return to the menu. Let's make the pause menu. Alright, if you haven't followed my main menu tutorial, all that we have in this project is the main menu system, which you might already have, and our scenes are the main menu scene and the example scene. First, we need to make sure our build settings are set up correctly. So if you go to File, Build Settings, they'll be right here. But what I like to do is Control-Shift-B, the keybind. You want to click Add Open Scenes for the main menu and game scene that you want to use here. And you need to make sure that the main menu scene is set to 0 in the build index, and the game scene is set to 1. Let's say you've got your main menu, and you've got a game scene that the main menu takes you to when you click play. That's nice and all, but there's currently no way, even if we had a player controller, to go back to the main menu, which that's pretty important. What we're going to need to make sure we create here is being able to go to the main menu, preferably by pressing the escape key, and then we're going to need to be able to resume from there and go back to the main menu. Those are very important. We'll also add an options panel so that you can change the in-game settings while playing. Now let's get started by going ahead into the game scene that we have. You're going to want to make sure that you have an event system in your game. You can create one by adding a UI event system. Now to set up the pause menu, all we're going to do first is create an empty game object, which I will call pause menu. You can call it whatever you want. This will be the anchor for all of our canvases, which we will control with a script. And we're going to need to create another empty object here to control the pause menu and its canvases. We can call this the this is going to be our menu manager. Now that we've got those, we're going to need to create the canvas for our pause menu. So we're going to right click on the pause menu, go to UI, canvas. I'm going to call this the pause menu canvas. Now I'm just going to go over and right click on the canvas and then go to UI panel just to have a background here. It's going to be called the background. When you pause the game, you're going to want to be able to tell that you've paused it besides the UI appearing, so we're going to add a little filter here. We're going to go ahead and add our buttons by right clicking on the pause menu canvas, go into UI, button Text Mesh Pro, and make sure you have Text Mesh Pro imported. If it asks you to import it, you can just click yes. I'm just going to use Control D to duplicate this button 2 times. We're going to move our selected buttons wherever we want them. I'm putting mine on the left side because I think it looks nice. I'm going to scale it up. We're just going to position it wherever we want to, but for mine I'm going to put them in a sort of top-down alignment. I'm going to set the offset for them to about 100. By going to the Y coordinates, setting it to 100 on the top one and negative 100 on the bottom one. And now we have 3 buttons, which I'm going to go ahead and name. The top one will be the resume button. The middle one will be the options button. And the bottom one will be our button for going to the main menu. And now I'm going to go to the text and change the text accordingly. One more thing I'm just going to do for preference is add to the canvas again a UI Text Mesh Pro text, and you can always use a logo or your own text just to say that the game is paused. And now I'm going to change the colors and tweak the looks of this, and you can do that too. You can just make it fit the theme of your game or whatever you want it to look like. Alright, this is how mine's looking so far. Now we're going to go to our assets folder and make sure you have a scripts folder. We just have our main menu script in here, which you don't need for the pause menu. We're going to go ahead and create C# script. I'm going to call this the pause menu script. Or let's just call it pause menu. And now it's time to do some scripting to make the pause menu work. First thing I'm going to do is add Unity scene management so that we can use the build index. and that'll be for our main menu button. Now we're just gonna need to add a few things here on top. Yeah, we're gonna need to add a boolean for when it's paused. Let's call it just paused. By default, we're gonna set this to false. And we're gonna need to add a reference to use our game object. We're gonna call that our pause menu canvas, because that's what it is. And now in start, and when we pause, we want it to be able to freeze the game, but whenever we load into the game, we don't want it to be frozen by default, so we're going to use start, which calls the first frame, it says here. And we're just going to make sure by using timescale, which we'll use later for the freezing effect, we're going to make sure that it is running when you load into the game. Alright, and now in update, we're just going to use get key down to use the escape key to pause and resume the game. So if input get key down, we're going to use key code, it's going to be the escape key. And now if you hit the escape key, we're going to use an if else statement. If pause play. We're going to play. And we'll hit the key again, which is else. There you go. We're just going to use stop. Now this is going to set our boolean. That's all we need to do in void update. So let's start with the stop, which is going to stop the game. And now we're going to need to make sure a couple of things happen once we hit the escape key. It triggers the stop. So first of all, we need to go to our pause menu canvas, and we need to activate that. Set active to true. So now our pause menu canvas will appear when we hit escape. And now we're going to need to use time.timescale again to set the time this time. And this time we're going to freeze time with it. 0. And our paused boolean is true. Okay, I can't spell. Alright, and now play, which is going to resume the game. Now this is whenever you hit the escape key while it's paused. It's going to do the opposite. So really all we need to do, just as a quick shortcut, we can just drag over all of this. Control C and Control V. We're just going to put that over here. We're going to make sure that it sets the pause menu canvas. Set active as false, so we'll disable the pause menu canvas. And time will resume to 1. And it is no longer paused, that's false. Alright, there we go, we have stop and play. Now we're just going to need to add some simple scripting for the main menu button. So I'll add that. It's public so we can reference it as a function on an on-click event. So there you go. Now we're going to use scene manager here. It's going to load a scene. All I need to do is tell scene manager to get our current scene. Get active scene. Okay. Now that we have our active scene, we're going to use the build index, and since we're in scene 1, we want to go to scene 0, that's our main menu. We're going to subtract 1 from the build index, which will put us right in the main menu. Now I can save that, and hopefully that will be our pause menu script. Holy crap. Okay, now I've fixed the, okay, yeah, now I had to add 3 semicolons, which I'm a bit rusty, so I had to add 3 semicolons. Alright, and now we have our pause menu script. We're going to add this to our menu manager because you don't want to disable an object that the script is on because it won't be able to enable it again. So let's add that here. And for our pause menu canvas, we're just going to want to choose the pause menu anchor, actually the whole thing, so that when we disable it and enable it, the entire thing goes. And that should be about it for plugging that in. Now we just have to set up our buttons. So on the resume button, we're going to... Oh yeah, one more thing. Oh yeah, okay, so the resume button is going to use the play function, so we just need to make that public. Sorry about that. That's all I gotta do. And now we're going to choose our resume button and add an on-click event. And we're going to reference our menu manager so that we can reference our pause menu script. We're going to choose the play function. And now once you click the resume button, it'll just do the same thing as if you were clicking escape and resume the game. Now for the options menu, all we're going to do here is just be lazy and choose the entire pause menu canvas that you have right here. Well, actually this one right here, and just Control D, like so. I'm going to disable the old pause menu canvas and delete the resume and options buttons for this one, not for the original one. This is just going to be changed to the options menu canvas. And the text is now just going to say options. And now I'm going to use the main menu button instead as a back button. And I'm just change the text accordingly. And now we're going to have two canvases under the pause menu parent. Let's just go into the options menu back button and then add an on-click event to the pause menu canvas. Then we're going to go to the function, game object, set active. This is true, this is false, we're going to set it to true. And then we're also going to add another function referencing the entire options menu. Same thing here, game object, set active, this time false. So it's going to enable the pause menu and disable the options menu. Now that's all we have to do on the options panel. Now we're just going to go back to the pause menu canvas, and on the options menu, just add an on-click event. We're going to reference the pause menu canvas, not the pause menu parent, just the canvas. Game object, set active, we're going to set this to false this time. And we're going to do the opposite for the options menu canvas. Game object, set active, true. So now this will disable the pause menu and enable the options menu. And last but not least, we have the main menu button. And once again, we'll simply reference the menu manager right here and the on-click event. The function will be from pause menu. It's going to be the main menu button click event. And that should actually be all. And now all you need to do is make sure that your options menu is disabled, your pause menu is enabled, and the pause menu parent, which is this right here, we need to disable that, and the menu manager will enable that when you hit the escape button. So let's test it out. Here's our game, escape, there's our pause menu, resume, there we go, boom, let's pause again. We can go to our options menu, that takes us to our options panel, if you look at that. Now you can change your game options while you're playing the game. And main menu. There we go, we're back into the main menu from the first tutorial, which works just the same. And now when we go back into the game, you can see it's running just as usual. You can pause it as well. With your options menu, you have your main menu button, you have your resume button. You can also just hit escape. I'd say it's pretty cool, yeah. I'd say it's pretty cool. There you go. There's the pause menu tutorial from me, DB. I hope you all enjoyed this, had fun with this, and good luck with all your projects out there. I'll see you all in the next tutorial.